Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Porchville. That's right, you have found the one, the only, the Porchville Podcast. I'm your host, Nick. With me, as always, is my buddy Cody.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Are you excited to be here?
Dude, I got this fire in me right now.
Dude, this is number one. This is where it all starts, right here. This is where it all fucking starts. And we're sitting here, and we got a little monkey rum.
Toast to the monkey.
Toast.
Man.
Toast
to the first
episode. To the first episode. How about it? Oh wait, we got to get a little. You got to hear the clink. Come on. Oh, there we go.
Is that better?
That's better.
All right.
I think you chipped my glass, but
dude, that monkey glass is legit. That thing ain't breaking. You know it.
Monkey rum. Monkey rum. The show may not be brought to you by Monkey Rum right now, but it's damn sure fueled by Monkey Rum. That's
It puts a fire. It puts a fire inside of me.
That it does. So, this is a Porchville podcast, and the rules are very simple. There's not really many. We're just a couple guys who like having a good time.
Fuck yes.
Like interacting with others in good conversation. And here in Gainesville, Florida, where we live, my house has always been kind of a gathering area of sorts, and everybody just always hangs out on the porch. So,
dude, we have had a great time at the porch.
I mean, it's an institution at this point.
Yeah, I mean, dude, for years now.
And it's always been cool, you know. So a lot of times we hang out, and I mean, you know, the night gets late, the hours wear on. Sometimes you watch the sun come up over the treetops, and next thing you know, it's 6 a.m. and you're like, what the fuck happened to the last 8 hours of my life?
It's like, I don't know, but I love it.
But it's a great time. So we decided after talking about doing a podcast, Cody and I decided that, well, if we're going to do one, why not just do one about what we fucking know best and what we do? Hanging out, having a good fucking time, and talking to folks.
I think it's a great opportunity just to bring some outside people in, man, because man, we have the best conversation.
Oh, my God. We have conversations on the porch that we talk about years and years later. Right now, I think the front runner is facts and feelings.
Facts and feelings.
We'll talk more about that a little later, but that's that's what happens here. We love hanging out together, and the porch is just a good fucking place to be. It's just a good fucking time. So we wanted to share that with the world, basically.
And to be honest with you, we're having a really mild night, because normally at the porch it's a lot more social.
Yeah.
But we decided it'd be a great night to have a little bit more intimate time with you, whoever you are out there.
Get your hand off my dick.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Yeah, it sounded like I flustered you there.
Well,
that doesn't happen very often. Cody does not get flustered, I tell you that. But you're absolutely right. You know, we just normally it gets fucking crazy.
Yeah, we have a pretty live time,
especially right now. I mean, we got the pool and all that stuff. You know, we'll break out the guitars and we're playing music, and everybody's raising hell and drinking. And I'm usually drinking monkey rum, which is delicious.
Shout out to Monkey Rum.
Shout out to Monkey Rum. If you haven't tried Monkey Rum, honest to God, I'm really not trying to, like, you know, toot their horn or whatever, you know, but they really are. It's the best fucking rum that I've ever had. I was a Captain Morgan guy forever, and one day I tried it on a whim. They recommended it to me at ABC, and I said, yeah, why not? Fuck it, I'll try it.
It just has that, like, perfect bit of sweetness and not too spicy rum. Like, you know, like it's perfect.
It's delicious.
It is really perfect.
Absolutely fucking perfect. That is the best way to say it. It's just perfect.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I drink a lot of that. That's my go-to.
Dude, I mean, it's pretty much been a staple of
the
porch for literally the past 10 years.
Oh, not that long.
Okay, maybe.
But since they've been out,
1,000 years,
at least,
maybe 1,000 years.
Since they've been out, and I found out about it, I mean, it's been a
The
love relationship, and there's been no turning back.
I like how you put that.
So
it's a love
if you like
relationship.
Captain Morgan, give Monkey Rum a shot, and literally, and let us know how you like it.
Maybe you can come here and have a shot with us one
Absolutely.
day. Who knows, man? Just
Absolutely.
if you guys want to find us, we're reaching out to all social medias right now. We're trying to get out there, and we're here for everyone.
And this
so.
is like a true like grassroots fucking startup.
Yes.
I mean, we are two dudes hanging out on a fucking porch, just talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Whatever. Bro.
Whatever we want to talk
Whatever.
about. There's no boundaries, no limitations. We don't really want to get too political, I guess,
Nah, not really. I
because
don't want to.
politics fucking suck.
They make people hate each other.
It's ridiculous. We will get into it at some point
know.
here and there, but like overall, Jesus Christ, it's you can't mention anything political without it being a fucking train wreck now.
Or a war.
Yeah.
It's a fucking war. I mean, that's how I realize having political conversations with people. That's how wars are started.
It makes sense. See, if they would just drink more monkey rum,
Maybe they'd relax a little bit.
I think
Maybe they'd
the
have
world would be a better fucking place.
have a better fucking time and listen to our podcast. And
So, episode number one, and the Cody and I, you and I, we talked about what should we do with our first episode, and we figured, well, there's a whole lot of folks out there that we're hoping to get this to that have no idea who the fuck we are or why they should listen to us, why they should even care about what we're saying. So we kind of figured we'd take this first episode to, talk about who we are, what we're doing, why we're doing it, and why you should give a fuck about what we're saying.
yeah, or don't.
Or
Give
don't.
a fuck. I mean,
We don't
that's
care.
okay. That's
We don't
okay.
care.
You don't have to give a fuck.
As long as you subscribe.
Just subscribe. I'm selling out, Nick. I'm selling out.
Just subscribe, please. That's all. So, the social media stuff, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. PorchvillePod.com is our website, and you can go there and get whatever it is you need, any information about Porchville, and as we go along this journey, we want you to come along with us. We want to kind of an interactive sort of thing, interact with the audience. You send us questions, if you want to hear us talk about certain topics or something. I just bit my fucking tongue. Ouch. Did you hear that little
Dude, it sounded like you
Jesus
chomped off
Christ.
the tip of
I
it
think
there.
I might. It was a side, really, but Jesus. Anyway, we want to know what you want to hear. Join in. Join Porchville.
Yeah.
Become a Porchvillian.
That's right, baby.
I like that name.
The Porchvillians. Porchvillians?
Porchvillians.
Porchvillians.
Kind of like Whovillians, like Dr. Seuss shit.
Except for it's way cooler.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. They had a Grinch. We don't have a Grinch. We have a Matt somewhere. He's not here tonight.
We do
but
have a Matt.
We have a Matt.
We have a fucking Matt. That is a mascot in itself.
That's a Matt. I don't even know what to say about Matt. We'll let Matt explain himself when he
the Matapotamus.
when he makes it here.
I don't know how you say that.
The guy loves doing belly flops. That's really all you can. I think that really sums him up quite a bit.
And that's probably the safest thing he does.
Yeah.
Belly flops.
Yeah. I would commit to that.
He's just gonna red belly himself,
So, without further ado, what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna talk a little bit about who we are and all that good stuff. So I think I'm gonna lead this off. What do you think? You want?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Because I'm gonna interview you, man. I'm gonna test out my
Ouch.
interview skills.
We'll see how this goes, guys.
We'll see how
We'll
this
see how
goes.
this goes. See how it goes.
So, what's your favorite color?
Clear.
Clear. I like it. I like it already. Were you a fan of the Crystal Pepsi back in like '94, whenever the fuck that shit came out?
If you know the color, then yes. All right, yeah, that's sorry. All right, keep going. Continue. I'm throwing him for a loop now. I'm giving him the worst interview of all time here. He's like, really?
That's a terrible idea.
Really?
No, for real. Let's get in with the people. Let's tell them who it is we are. Where did your story begin?
My story began. Well, I was born. Is this how far we're going?
That's exactly how far we're going.
All right, cool, man. Well, I'm Floridian, pretty much through and through. Born and raised in Florida.
Where at?
Lived in High Springs, Gainesville area until I was younger, and then moved down to South Florida, Tampa area, man. Which I fucking love South Florida. South Florida's off the chain. Spent my high school
great
there.
strip clubs in Tampa.
Oh,
Shout
boy,
out to
do
La
they, man.
Palace, my buddy Dave down there. He runs a La Palace. It's called.
Shout out to Deja Vu.
Deja
That's
Vu.
my favorite strip club in Tampa.
Never been there.
God, it's good.
I don't think I've actually been to a strip club in Tampa. He also owns one in Orlando. So
Well, okay, so continue there. So I'm from. So I basically grew up, went to high school in South Florida, and wrestled, and that was played baseball my whole life, and then wrestled in high school, and then got in a lot of trouble, and then freaking
are we talking about the trouble?
No, we're not talking about the
Not
trouble.
yet. Not yet. That's like episode 9.
Yeah.
We talk about the trouble.
Yeah. I mean, not really. Not like bad trouble. Like
Just the usual bullshit.
Yeah, I was just being a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kid kind of troubles, like girls and sneaking out, and
Oh, Jesus.
you know what I mean, like that kind of stuff.
Good times.
Yeah, I was fucking young.
Great
and
times.
Young, dumb, and full of cum.
It was a great time in life. That age, just being fucking dumb. I love it.
Dude. And as it's crazy because this is one thing. Well, I'm off topic a little bit here, but being a kid, man, like if you're a minor, bro, you can get away with basically anything but murder.
Shit, now, I mean, there's some that even get away with fucking murder. I mean, they do a little bit of time, but I mean,
yeah.
well, 7 months or some shit,
I mean, yeah.
You hear about
might
stuff
get
like
out
that all the
10
time.
years.
That's crazy.
Murdered somebody 5 years.
That's crazy.
I mean, but as a kid, bro, you have like a lot more freedom than you do as an adult.
The world is your oyster.
Dude.
If I could fucking go back, I'll tell you, honestly, if I could go back just for like, not like, I don't want to be young again, but like if I could go back and like see young me, man, I'd have some shit to tell that kid.
Yeah.
He'd probably think I was a total fucking loser though.
Well, I mean, probably.
Would young Cody think that older Cody is a total fucking square?
No, not at all.
No?
I think younger Cody did pretty well.
Yeah.
I made bad decisions and a lot of good ones. So I'm pretty happy with. I mean, dude, I love my past. I'm sure there's a few things I would change, but there's, for the most part, your past that makes you who you are, and
Of course.
if you don't learn from your past, then like you never grow.
Right.
Like anything that's a failure, man, that's you got to grow as a human being. So I mean, that's kind
It's
of
all part of living, man.
But yeah, so then I moved back to. So after after high school, I moved back to Gainesville, and I don't know, was here for a little while. Was going to college and fucking doing all that stuff, and really wasn't for me. Ended up meeting a girl, moving to Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah, that shit sucked.
Well, it's Kentucky. Nothing against Kentucky listeners.
No, fuck. Hey, you're in Kentucky. I feel bad for you guys. All right.
I have a friend of mine who moved to Kentucky. He's
Man,
doing pretty well out there.
Don't go there. Bluegrass.
pretty
Who
well.
gives a fuck? Whatever. Fuck Kentucky, man. The hills and hollers. Oh, I don't know.
There's something about that though. That's kind of beautiful.
I mean, I like Florida. Flat.
Yeah. I see. I'm not a huge. It's
Beach.
just so fucking hot.
Beach.
Hot.
Springs.
Air conditioning. Ice
AC,
cubes.
Yes.
Like fuck. That's what I need in my life.
Yeah.
Fuck heat.
But then, from Kentucky, I moved back to Florida. Fun love of my life, and yeah, have a family and family man. Do the dad stuff.
Just doing it.
So
when I met you, you were doing a lot of disc golfing.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much
Yeah, I'm a big
like
disc
where
golf
it was
player.
at for you. It was just all about disc golf.
Dude,
so
it's just like this podcast right now. Whenever I was playing disc golf at the beginning, like I got into it to be the best at what I was doing.
Right.
And like that comes with a lot of mistakes made along those roads, but I'm like I said, I'm one of those individuals like whenever I want to do something, it's only going to be at a high level.
Yeah.
And cuz otherwise it's just boring.
Yeah.
And I played disc golf for 10 years, and within that 10 years, it took me 6 years to get pro. And my first pro tournament, I cashed in a pro tournament against some of the best players in the fucking world, dude.
Nice.
And that was a big accomplishment to me. My first objective was to beat this cat named Double G. And if you guys don't know Double G, in my opinion, is the best disc golf player in the world.
Who is Double G?
So Double G, Garrett Girthy, man.
Oh, Girthy. I've heard about this guy.
Yeah, you guys will hear a lot about the Girthy brothers,
man. I may have met
man.
him once. Or I think I met his brother.
Well,
he came out to the
there's
Porch
several
one night.
brothers. Yeah, there's quite a few of them Girthy boys, man. His dad was spitting out boys like he didn't know what to do. Yeah, the Girthys, man, they grew up playing disc golf. It's been something that's instilled in them since they could walk.
I think it's a cool sport. I really do. I played it once, horribly. I'm not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination.
I like to say I'm pretty athletic.
I am absolutely not. So it was a rough day.
Nick says this because he just is selling himself a little short here. He absolutely could be athletic. He just didn't put in the time it takes and the commitment, to something that he might not have been interested in.
Well, back in the day when everybody was, playing sports and, joining teams and all this stuff, I was more worried about, playing rock and roll and smoking cigarettes and drinking Jack Daniels.
What youth sports did you play?
I played baseball.
To what level?
For 1 year.
Like T-ball?
Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth, of course.
7th grade, I think I was.
All right. Were you on a pitching machine?
No. We had an actual pitcher.
Okay.
That was fun. I was the worst. I think definitely the worst kid on the team. I was terrible.
You got to realize those kids already have 3 years on you.
Yeah. Well, it showed.
Yeah, that's massive.
A lot. I was terrible. And once in 6th grade, believe it or not, I was, this is funny, I was on a basketball team. I actually played intramural basketball.
That's awesome.
And I was the shortest kid on the team, predictably.
How tall are you, Nick? Like
I am
5'4.5". 5'4.5". I mean, 6 foot's right there.
Yeah, it's if
friends for years.
If I get a stool, I'm close. So, played on a basketball team, was terrible. The only thing I knew how to do on the basketball team was throw it to Todd, I think his name was. He was the only
a good play.
Good kid on the team.
That's a good play sometimes. Sometimes it's like if I got Jordan on my team, that'd be the same play I'd run.
That was pretty much it. Just throw it to that guy. Throw it to that guy. That's all I knew how to do. So it worked out. So you did a lot of disc golfing.
Yeah, which I'm injured right now,
you're
so
injured,
I can't
your
really
shoulders
play.
all fucked up.
Yep. Like I can hardly lift a glass of milk. Meh. Meh. I go to make some fucking cereal and I'm like, meh. Silently crying to myself, making milk. Why? Why does my shoulder have to hurt? Maybe if I didn't throw frisbees 600 feet and I didn't just rip on my fucking shoulder all the time.
But now before that, you were doing a lot of like wrestling and stuff like that in high school and everything.
Yeah, I wrestled in high school.
Did you ever do anything like football or anything like that?
No,
was
I
it just
wasn't
pretty
allowed
much
to play
exclusively
football.
Wrestling? Really?
Yeah. My dad gives a fuck about my brain.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hear that's a good thing to keep intact.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to realize, like, football, it's a great game, dude. It really is a great game.
I love it. Go Gators.
Yeah, fucking go Gators, man. But these athletes, man, they are just I know what it takes to play at the highest level, and the sacrifice that these athletes make, I feel like it's insane, dude.
Yeah, I mean they give everything
because they are aware of the risks as well.
100%.
I mean, I feel like some of these kids though don't really understand the risk that they are taking or putting on them.
Well, do they
bodies.
not understand it, or do they not care?
Well, they might not care because they don't understand.
Well, a lot of these kids are looking for a way out of their environment that they grew up in or something. And
I'm not saying everyone.
They see this as an avenue, and so the fact that they may struggle with concussions or injuries or whatever, but look at that. Look at Andrew Luck, who just retired. He just said, fuck this. I've had enough. I'm tired of being injured, and it's totally just fucked up my life.
He's like, I'm not going to win the Super Bowl.
And that's just crazy. 'Cause, I mean, that guy did it. I mean, he is on the highest level that there is. Yeah. And to just they said he walked away from like $500 million or something.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
Which is,
but dude, how much money
insane.
do you need? How much money do you need?
Well, I'd like to have $500 million.
I need $1 billion.
I'd like to see.
I need $1 billion.
Give me the $500 million, and we'll see how that goes. If I need more, well, I'll let you know.
I want to walk down the street. Well, actually, I don't want to walk down the street. I want to walk down a street of people. Like I could just walk on them because I'm a billionaire, and I could pay them all to do it.
Like Crocodile Dundee.
Did he do that?
Remember in the end where he walked across the crowd to get to Sue?
Yeah. I want to do that.
His love.
I want to do that kind of shit. That
was a great movie.
Tell me, bro. Tell me that just doesn't blow your ego out of the water. You got $1 billion. What else do you do with $1 billion? Bro?
I don't know, but I'd like to find out.
Yeah.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah. I mean, Nick, think about it. You had $1 billion right now. What's the first thing you do? What's the first thing you do? You had $1 billion.
I'd probably just, you know what? Honestly, I don't fucking know.
There you go.
I mean, because there's a lot of things I could think. I mean, I'd go buy like whatever the fuck I wanted. I'd probably go buy
I wouldn't spend a cent.
Bigger house. Or,
I wouldn't spend a cent because I'd always want to be like, I'm a billionaire.
I'd probably I'd probably take everybody I know and go out to Vegas for a month and just piss away $10 million.
See, that's probably the best answer you could say. Dude, if you bring up your people with you, dude, that's the greatest fucking thing to do.
I would piss away a lot of money if I was a billionaire.
But say that's what a lot of these rappers. I mean, some of these rappers don't give a shit, but some of these rappers do. They go back to their communities.
Yeah,
which a lot of them are poverty. Or come from poverty, and they come back and
what's the guy?
Even football players, a lot of these athletes are doing that, man, and that's amazing.
What's the guy?
Shaq was huge about that.
Who's the guy that got shot out there? Was it Nipsey Hussle, something like that?
I don't know.
Was that
rappers.
the guy?
No, I don't know.
He got but he was really big into giving back to the community and everything, which was, I guess, part of what ended up not
He had beef with somebody.
Something.
He had beef.
Who knows? So before you did, we were talking about wrestling and all that sort of stuff. Were you just into wrestling, or did you do any martial arts and stuff like that? Because
I just did wrestling in high school.
Yeah,
and my stepdad, he wrestled whenever he was from up north. And
where
at? He was from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania,
the wrestling up there.
Shout out to
really
my
good.
Lansdale, Pennsylvania family up that way.
But he had kind of steered me in the direction that wrestling might be a fun venue, and I was like, first of all, if this guy can do it, trust me, I got that in the bag. So he didn't show me anything or tell me anything, but I went and he basically said that he had wrestled from Pennsylvania and talked about wrestling up there. So, of course, opportunity. I didn't make the baseball team because I was slow as fuck because I was a little overweight. And so I decided I would go to wrestling.
Right.
And whenever I went to wrestling, there was going to be no slow me. And I thought I'd give baseball another try after I got in shape from wrestling. Because wrestlers run and run and run. And then you run some more. So
you feel like you found your calling when you got into wrestling, that was
Oh,
it.
man. Dude, team sports are great.
Yeah.
And wrestling is a team sport. You all live and die together, but
right.
you all have to win. You have to win individually for it. But that's if it's a dual meet, which is what we did. But the wrestling aspect, I mean, I wasn't the best wrestler by no means, man, but I was just uneducated on the sport at first, so it took me, there was a learning curve. Like, and a lot of these guys have wrestled a long time, and Brandon Wrestling, dude, was right down the road, and they have the longest win streak in all of sports. It's like over 120 years long or something like that. They haven't lost a dual meet in over that long. There's a whole 30 for 30 on ESPN, and it's amazing.
Well, now, one thing that I know that we're going to hear, people are going to hear a lot about this on the podcast as we go throughout the years, because we're in this for the long haul. I mean, we're what the fuck else do we got to do? I mean, might as well entertain millions of people. That's the goal, right? Millions.
The billions.
Billions and billions.
The billions.
So, one of the things that I know that people are going to come to know you as is the MMA guy, because you're huge into fucking MMA.
Yep.
I didn't really watch a lot of MMA, UFC fighting and all that sort of stuff until we started hanging out. On a regular basis. I'd watch the big things, if something crazy came along, like I'd check it out, but overall, never really fucking watched it. But
well, dude, it's the idea of the one-on-one aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what drew me away from baseball to wrestling was it's you versus that other dude.
Right.
And that other dude is trying to do stuff to you, and you have to stop him from doing that, and then implement your will.
Yeah. What's in your opinion? Who's best? Who's the best?
The best?
The best.
Stipe Miocic.
Who?
Stipe Miocic.
Oh, Stipe.
The UFC heavyweight champion of the world.
Oh man, yeah. I was listening to a certain other podcast today, with that Jocko interview.
Oh yeah.
And they were talking about Stipe. I believe they also started talking about the who's the other guy, the big dude that
DC.
You know what I'm talking
Francis
about.
Ngannou. Oh my god,
that's
the scariest man on the planet.
That
dude.
guy is really fucking scary.
He's huge, dude. Like that guy is a pure on freaking monster.
But they were saying something that was kind of cool, like through jiu-jitsu. And it actually, the way they were talking about it, I was like, fuck, maybe I should check out some jiu-jitsu. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because they were saying, like the smallest guy in the room who's skilled in jiu-jitsu can easily like take down a guy. Now,
and that's been
a guy
proven.
like Ngannou, obviously,
Ngannou,
that's a different story. But if a guy who is his size, not a skilled fighter, but just a big fucking dude, like jiu-jitsu sort of levels that playing field.
Well, if you're able to get into a position where you're able to submit him, man. Like jiu-jitsu is one of those.
So basically, if he doesn't punch you in the face in the first second.
Because Ngannou punches the best guys in the face in the first 5 seconds.
That guy punches like through their face. Dude, like it's ridiculous.
They can do nothing. He doesn't even have to land clean. He just touches you, dude, and they die.
That last fight was fucking amazing.
Bro, he clipped Cain Velasquez like... At one point, I thought he might have been
giant dude.
Well, he's not only is he a giant, but he's just an animal in the cage, dude. He's just an animal in the cage.
Yeah.
Like his pace, his cardio, his chin, his will to win is fucking incredible. But then like whenever he fought Francis, dude, Ngannou freaking smokes his ass. All he did, dude. He just touches him on the head with one knuckle. One knuckle is all he touched him with. Pow! His legs collapse.
When was this?
No, the first 30 seconds of the fight.
No, I mean, when was this fight?
Oh, this was only 3 months ago.
Really?
Maybe? Yeah, 4 months ago.
Why the fuck didn't you call me? Say, hey, we gotta get this fight.
Motherfucker.
I don't remember
call
that.
you. That's right. I know you don't. I did call, and then I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna go up the dockside, eat some wings."
I was probably already drunk. Was like, "Let this motherfucker just go to dockside tonight."
Yeah, exactly. But dude, and Ngannou hit him in the head, clips him. His legs, Cain Velasquez's legs, just give out. They just give out. Like whenever I'm watching it, it looked like his legs just he looked like he blew his ACL or blew his hamstring out or something like that, because you were like, oh no, nothing happened, but he got clipped, man.
It couldn't have been worse than that Silva thing we watched.
Oh, his leg snaps around? Isn't that the most intense
I can
thing?
still see that. When I close my eyes,
it's in your nightmares.
I can still fucking see it. I can still see it to this fucking day.
Anderson Silva it's funny to watch his transformation in MMA, man, because like a lot of these fighters, man, like I watch them from when they're young, and then you don't last very long in MMA. MMA is one of those sports when you fight at the highest level, you're not going to have a long career.
Unless you do. Unless like some of these guys get in there and it's the guys that continue to stay at that peak and just are just always on top, always the fucking best.
Right. But I think those guys aren't always the best.
Well, but it's the guys that come in that are not as disciplined, that maybe lose a few fights or whatever. Those guys tend to just peter out.
I mean, I'm talking more like Cowboy Cerrone. Like Cowboy Cerrone doesn't win all his fights.
Yeah.
Like he loses quite a few fights.
Yeah.
But the thing is he is a game fighter, which means he's always there to fight. Like he's fought like 9 times a year. Like guys like Khabib, who are the lightweight champion right now, who's got a huge fight coming up against Dustin Poirier, which I'm so pumped for. He's only fighting 2 times a year.
Right.
Like Khabib is fighting 2 times a year, man. Like he's not getting paid.
Now remind me, Khabib was the guy that Conor
destroyed
fought.
Conor McGregor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, destroyed him.
See, that's what's frustrating about I like to follow a team or a fighter or something like that. I like to, that's my guy.
Yeah.
And I think my first guy was Johnny Hendricks.
Oh, Big
Rig Hendricks.
Johnny Big Rig Hendricks.
And I liked watching him. For one, guy had a great beard.
Dude, his beard was fucking A.
And I'm a beard guy. You're a beard guy.
Yes, sir.
With beard gang, #beard gang. So I loved Hendricks. I thought he was a great fighter.
Power puncher,
and, dude. The guy just disappeared. Gone.
Well, so what happened was we got USADA. The UFC got new, stricter drug testing policies.
Right.
And as soon as that happened, Johnny Hendricks just he was not the same person, bro.
Right.
Like there were several of those guys who Johnny Hendricks was one of those. Freaking Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
Anderson Silva. As soon as they because that's the whole thing is the UFC is the best of the best.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these other organizations, they allow steroids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
now, do they allow it, or is it just
do.
sort of like
they do? Like if you're in Russia, you better take some roids, bro.
Yeah.
Because they're all on the juice. Like max, dude. Like I mean, they got gills coming out of the side of their neck. They're so fucking
Ivan
pumped
Drago style.
Yeah, they're pumped full of bull shark testosterone and shit.
I must break you.
Yeah, for real though. Like
Drago
these guys
the
look
best.
like they got muscles coming out of their muscles. You know what I mean? But the thing is if you want to be the best of the best, you can't be on the juice.
Right.
You can't be on the juice because the UFC with this USADA testing, bro. You got to be as natural as it comes. But that means that the best of the best fighters now are only fighting twice a year because you don't get the same recovery. You don't get the same – the fights don't end as suddenly now. You know what I mean? And you don't have the same strength and snap and hunger and drive and vision. Everything is improved whenever you're on fucking roids. Everything's faster. Everything.
You ever tried it?
No. It was offered to me several times, though.
Yeah. As a wrestler?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Even for they talked about it for baseball.
It was never offered to me. Of course, there was never any fucking reason to.
Dude, so Nick, if you would have gotten a cycle when you were about 8 or 9 years old, you'd be 6 foot tall.
I don't know, man.
Because that boost in testosterone would have shot your growth hormone. I mean, that's why they do that. They do growth hormones in fucking kids now.
Yeah, see,
steroid shots.
I got into Marlboro right around that time. I was,
Dang.
8. Well, no. I was about 13.
I was eating Flintstones vitamins.
I do remember the first time that I had like a full pack of cigarettes. I was about 10, maybe 11, give or take. And my parents caught me and they were just like, well, if you're going to fucking do it, I think they said if you're dumb enough to do it, then I'm dumb enough to let you.
That's terrible.
That was terrible.
That's so fucking terrible. If I see one of my kids smoking some cigarettes,
oh my
bro,
God,
I'm gonna beat the shit out of them. They're gonna be in their room.
Yeah, I mean, me and my kids, we would have fucking. I'd have a huge problem with it.
I'd spank their ass.
It's been something I've fucking.
I'm like, oh, you think you're grown?
Forever.
You think you're grown? Come here, boy. Come here, little boy. Let me get that ass. It's mine.
Oh well, yeah. All these years later, I still fucking do it. It still sucks, but it gives me this wonderfully velvety voice.
Oh, I've smoked. That's how I got into any
King
tobacco.
and shit.
I mean, I got my Copenhagen snuff over here.
Oh yeah,
freaking got the lip in always. But
how many times do you have? How many times? And I'm only asking this because I know that with smoking, you always got the fucking cigarette can. So how many times have you had your dip bottle or whatever?
God.
How many times have you drank it?
I'd say I could count it on two hands.
Well, that's good.
But actually swallowed it, never.
Yeah, it makes me want to throw up a little bit just thinking about it.
Yeah, it is really gross. Man. I mean, it's not like drinking a fucking soda that you have a cigarette butt in, though.
I've done that.
Ugh.
I was sitting in a hot tub. I was like 17, 18. I was sitting in a hot tub, and I had a beer in one hand, and I had an ash can sitting next to it, and I set my beer down, and I picked it back up and just took a big old swig, and next thing I know, I'm spitting out cigarette butts. It was fucking terrible.
Like machine gun bullets. No, that's nasty, man. I mean, dude, I got it bad, bro, because I always have a lip in my mouth, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm inside, I gotta have either I'm gonna have a drink and swallow it, or I'm gonna have if I got a drink, I don't really care. It just doesn't get like you think. It doesn't get mad juicy.
I mean, I've dipped. I dipped
yeah, but you're not you don't.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to get away from cigarettes, so I tried dipping, and it was kind of cool because I could do it at work. But man, it's shit burned when I put it in, and
that's because
shit,
you chew long cut.
I don't know what the fuck it was.
See, I chew snuff.
It was Copenhagen something or other.
Yeah, you probably chewing long cut. See, that long cut is real long, and it'll cut your lip.
Well, it didn't cut me or anything.
It will cut
it just
you.
Sucked. I
It'll
couldn't do
make
it.
your lip raw.
I had to each their own. I mean, some people look at cigarettes and they're like, "That's disgusting."
I don't give a fuck. I just sometimes as a non-smoker, I kind of have to step away sometimes. It's because it can be a little much for me even sometimes. But I mean, whatever, man. I know. Smoking ain't good for you. Chewing ain't good for you. Fucking being in the sun ain't good for you. Eating too much fucking anything ain't good for you.
My biggest thing, and one of the reasons I've never I feel like I've never actually really made the headway on quitting, is because I always have this thing in the back of my head I'm gonna quit smoking, and then I'm gonna step out and get hit by a fucking truck or something like that,
and just be miserable.
And it's what was the fucking point? Shit, it sucks. Well, my grandfather smoked, and he made it for. He was in his 70s.
I hope to make it to 75.
Late
I make
70s.
it to 75, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, I can dig that. Of course, what I realize is the older I get, the closer that 70-something mark gets. It's I might like to get a little further than that.
Well, I got
because if I make it into 70, if I make it in 75. Man, I'm already, I'm halfway there. I'm more than halfway there. That sucks to think,
I got 45 years.
It's halfway done now. Jesus. I don't like the way that feels, so.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's part of it, though, right? We all get older.
Yeah.
We all get older.
That it is.
But, I mean, unlike some of us, I mean, you get finer with age. I mean, you fucking look more distinguished. I mean.
I do.
We got to bring up the fucking shirt, man. We have to bring up the shirt.
Oh, the shirt.
We have to bring up the shirt.
So, a few months ago, I just decided that I wanted a Hawaiian shirt.
And God, it looks good.
And after that, I bought like 9 others, and and that's what I found myself wearing. It's so man, I'm at that point in my life where I am not just all about like, oh, I gotta wear this. It looks cool. Like, no, that shit is comfortable. It feels nice. We're in Florida, for God's sakes.
We live in Porchville, bro.
We gotta dress comfortably, dress accordingly. So, and what's funny is I can't go anywhere.
Can you pass me the monkey?
Pass you the monkey? Absolutely. I can't go anywhere without somebody complimenting my shirt. Everywhere I go, it's just, oh, this shirt's fucking awesome. I guess everybody loves Hawaiian shirts, so I'm happy to oblige, and represent the Hawaiian look.
It is damn sexy though, man. Like, I swear I have a character in GTA 5 that is dressed just like you.
You still playing that?
No, man. It's old school, but I love it. I love it.
What kind of stuff are you playing? You got any good games you're recommending?
Let's see. This might sound really lame, but I'm still liking Red Dead Redemption 2.
That was a cool one. I bought that one. Days Gone is another one that's really cool.
Is that zombies?
Yeah, that's zombies. I love zombies, man. I love them. I love Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. And
yeah.
Anything zombies, man, I'm in.
See, dude, I'm not scared of zombies, bro.
Fuck
that would be so much fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. It would be fun as fuck.
As long as you don't wind up, in some of the dumbass situations that some of those characters do.
We wouldn't be in a movie, so we'd be fine.
I think so.
I
think we'd be all right. I think we got enough, firepower that we'd be all right.
It's
that's how we do it down here in Florida.
It's an excuse to shoot shit.
Absolutely.
Like, that's what would be fun.
Clean headshots all day long, man. That'd be great.
Oh, dude, you just get pissed off having an argument with the wife. You step outside, just blow a zombie's brains out. It'd be great, dude. It's like, oh, Fred, you're a zombie now? Thank God. Badoosh, you motherfucker, you. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that time you freaking mowed my half of the yard.
So what do you hope to see out of the podcast here? What do you hope that we get to?
I want to see some video, man. I'd love it if we had video as well as audio.
Video would be cool.
Because that way, I just feel like we'd get a lot more exposure there.
Right.
And it's a lot easier to get out. I think there's a lot less people out there doing video with their podcasts. So I'd like to see us get there, which I think that's very possible in the not so distant future.
Definitely. So down the road, you guys make sure you look for
we gotta get our subscriber base up.
Yeah.
And maybe we get some of those Patreons out there who want to freaking help us out here. That'd be
that's something we gotta look into.
That would be amazing
for sure. Oh, the fuck.
But you're talking about a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse.
Would you? So you like zombie movies and zombie games
yes.
and zombie shows?
I'm a fan.
What would be your zombie survival kit?
Well, I'd go. I'd have to go with like a hatchet style weapon.
A hatchet.
Just because you don't want to be out there shooting. Attracting more and all that.
Can I recommend a bomb knife, or it's called a kukri?
A kukri?
Kukri. It's probably one of the best knives in the world.
I feel like I saw that on one of those Forge.
Really?
What was it?
Oh, yeah, Fire and Forge. I'm sure they made one on there.
Fire?
Yeah, something like that.
The fuck is it called?
We actually have some bomb contestants here out of Gainesville.
Yeah. They're Twisted Dragon Forge, I think was that guy's name.
I have his card at the house.
I follow him on Facebook.
Nice.
He puts out some pretty cool shit.
He's actually a really cool dude, man. He sat down and wanted to talk to me about everything.
I think it was Twisted Dragon. Now I feel like I gotta fucking look it up.
Go ahead, give it a look, man. Give him the right shout out. He deserves it.
Any discredit.
Yeah, I met him up at the medieval fair. They were doing a forge there and doing like a where they kind of explain like what they're doing and like they were making swords or something for everyone to see how they did, and he was explaining it to the crowd. It was great.
Yeah, it's Twisted Dragon Forge is what it is. That's who he is.
That guy is amazing, by the way.
He's awesome. I love his stuff.
Great human being. He's so sociable.
I was bummed that he didn't go further on.
So
what the fuck is the name of the show? I can't remember.
Forged in Fire?
Forged in Fire, is that what it is?
I think that's what it's called.
It's a great show. I couldn't do it. Too fucking
so you bring you a blade. You got you a blade. I recommend the Kukri. What you got next?
I mean, you definitely got to have a sidearm. You know, I'd go with my old trusty Glock 9mm.
You better believe it.
You know, it's reliable. You know, I carry it pretty much everywhere I go. So
headshots, yes.
Absolutely.
You got 18 of those.
Yeah.
30 if you got the big boy.
And, you know, I might as well keep my AR around just for shits and giggles.
Yeah. Whenever you need to clear lane.
Yeah. See, this is Florida, folks, man. This is what we do. We like shooting guns and having fun and drinking rum.
But not at the same time.
Not at the same time. Disclaimer. Do not drink and shoot unless your name is Reed.
Unless you like to have a good time.
Because Reed likes to go out and have a good time and blow shit up with tannerite and everything.
Dude, that stuff is the best.
I haven't had the privilege yet.
Oh my God, we're gonna get some.
We should.
Yes, dude.
We should do it. We should do an episode blowing shit up with tannerite.
Oh, dude, we just go blow shit up and come back and we can shoot the shit.
I mean, we could take the whole system.
Can we?
Out to
Are
Reed's
we capable
place.
of
We are
this?
capable. All we need is a fucking extension cord.
We have the technology.
We have the technology.
Oh my God, we must build it.
Yeah, we'll just take the whole fucking table out to Reed's house and
that sounds like a good
blow
damn
shit
time.
up. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it really would.
I'd be down for that.
We're just gonna go shoot guns with Reed.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Reed's a good friend of ours. He's
amazing drummer.
Amazing drummer. So you'll hear more from him. I talked to him today. He's actually going to come in and do a later podcast. Actually, I talked to several people today about future guest appearances. And you know, go ahead and spoil it a little bit.
All right.
So we've got one of the first guests we're going to have, and he's probably going to be in next week, is a fellow by the name of Troy Fisher. He's a photographer.
What a land!
Just a fantastic fucking photographer. A lot of models and you know live concert photography and stuff like that. It's just I love the guy's shit. He's got a great eye for what he does.
A lot of experience in around music and musicians too. So
which always helps because you know I mean I've been a musician most of my life and I know that. You know, as a photographer, because I have a little bit of an interest in, you know, photography. I got a pretty cool camera and shit. I like to go out and take some cool pictures when I can. But, you know, it's about the anticipation. Like, you can't just sit there and just take pictures and hope for the best. Like, you've got to listen to what the fuck is going on around you and feel like, you know, intuitively where that artist is going to go, what they're going to do, you know, and, you know, that's going to help set up that awesome fucking shot. I feel anyway. I could be blowing smoke out of my ass. I really don't fucking know.
We're gonna find out though.
We're gonna find out because Troy is gonna come over here to Porchville and he's gonna spill it all. He's gonna tell us all of his crazy fucking stories. And
I could imagine, bro. You've been in the rock business for this long, man. I'm sure he's got some fucking
I'm sure he does
stories, dude.
And then we've got a band called Broken Silence. They're going to come in, and they are going to hang out. They were actually just on the Bubba the Love Sponge show and played a few songs. So we're going to have them come out to Porchville and play a couple songs, and we're just going to talk about what the fuck they're doing, what they're trying to do, where they're trying to go, and you know, that'll be a good time. And then I actually reached out to another friend of mine who is a country artist. And
no way you did not.
Oh, he's awesome. He's not that traditional. Well, not traditional. That's the wrong fucking word. He's doing more like the real deal, like the throwback, you know, type of country. He's not doing this,
pop country.
Bedazzled jeans, pop country,
That's
bullshit.
really kind of classic country now, if you think about it.
No.
Nowadays.
No. Classic country, I'm sorry. If I want classic, I'm going to put on some Hank Jr. or some Waylon Jennings, But then some of the guys nowadays, you got Jamie Johnson, Chris Stapleton, obviously, who, Shooter Jennings, Waylon's son. There's a ton of them that are up and coming that are stripping it back down to what it used to be. They're getting rid of all the frilly bullshit, which I fucking love.
Well, I think that's a good thing too, because I feel like right now our society, man, especially in the music industry or anything that's involved with technology. In my opinion, the music industry grows with technology.
Yeah.
Just my opinion. It has to.
Yeah.
But these musicians, man, they oh shit! I totally got distracted for a second. What was that?
Technology?
Yeah. Shit. What was I talking about?
How much monkey have you been drinking?
Ah, man, I don't think that's.
You better pass me that fucking bottle back over here, because I need to refill myself. But anyway, so his name's Houston Keene, and he was an upstart when I was working at a restaurant out in Alachua, and we were doing musical acts. And I heard about this kid, and they said, "Oh, he's great. You got to bring him out." Came out. Just the model of professionalism, and just great at what he was doing. I mean, he's just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
And he's taking the shot, man. I mean, like I said before, I've been in bands, and we've had that conversation where, oh, should we move and go do this and go do that and try to make this something. He's got off his ass and he moved to fucking Austin, Texas. He's out there. I see him on Facebook all the time, playing every fucking place he can play.
Wow.
Once, twice a day sometimes, 3-4 hour fucking sets. That's grinding it out. So I've got a lot of respect for him, and I actually hit him up today. And he is so down. He'll be back this way sometime late October,
That's fucking great, dude.
Sometime late October, early November, we'll get him in here and talk about what he's doing.
Well, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for that earlier, by the way, because that was a little ridiculous. I don't know. I got a text message, and it's kind of got me thrown for a loop right now.
Well,
and
this is the first one. We're still adapting.
I come over here, and me and the old lady were on a little rocky tilt for a second. Or not rocky. Nothing's rocky, but we just had a little disagreement. And
so basically, you did something wrong, and you haven't apologized for it yet.
No, I did, but I just got the response back, and that kind of threw me for a loop. But yeah, so I apologize about that. It made me lose my thought completely, because
I don't even. My phone is. Oh no, I was gonna say my phone isn't even here, but it's right here within fucking reach. So never mind.
Well, I'm on the chain, Nick. You know what I mean? I'm on the chain. I wish I could be off the chain sometimes. Well,
and I've got something that'll also, again, throw you for another loop then, because I reached out to another guest. He's a local guy. I met him through doing some ghost hunting investigations.
Oh my goodness!
So. He actually he's a guy who runs his own team. I thought it'd be a cool idea to bring him down around October time frame. Ties in with Halloween and all that sort of stuff.
Fun.
So look for that. That'll be a fucking cool one, because he's gonna bring down some stuff that he's probably EVPs and stuff like that.
Really?
I've got some shit that I'll fucking throw out there too. It'll be a lot of fun, man.
See, that's when
cool.
we need the video, man.
Well,
if we had video too,
it's still all audio. It's all everything you'll be hearing is all audio.
Okay.
So,
the video of ghost stuff is always kind of neat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, look, it's a hallway, bro.
Yeah.
Well, did you see that? Did you see that?
And that's and that whole thing. Like, that's what we're trying to do here, is just bring out some cool fucking, unique,
awesome.
different people, people that are going to contribute something cool that, that we can talk about and hopefully keep everybody engaged and entertained.
Well, I just want to go ahead and say I'm a total, I don't believe in any of that bullshit. He's going to have to convince me, damn it. He's going to have to convince me, all right?
I, on the other hand, 100% believe in
Well,
that
he is going to have to convince me.
100%.
I ain't going to stand for that nonsense. Oh, my God.
I just, I've been out on a couple of these
I'm just kidding, guys.
paranormal investigations, ghost hunts, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. And, man, I'll tell you, there's been some weird, wild shit that's happened. And I'm not going to spill it all now. We're not going to talk about it all now. We'll wait until Greg gets in here and we can sit down and have a conversation about it. But I'm telling you, if he's got half of the shit that I've seen over the years, then it's going to be a really cool fucking night.
That'll be neat.
It'll be
man.
a really cool night. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I got some pretty cool ghost stories too. I had a ghost experience. It wasn't me personally, but it was somebody really close to me, and they had footage of it.
Nice.
And so it was it's pretty cool. Pretty
Oh.
cool to see some stuff like that.
Well, make sure you stick that one in the bank.
Yeah.
Because when he comes
of
out,
course.
we're gonna have a conversation about
Of
it.
course.
So, but yeah, we got a lot of cool things on the horizon, and but in addition, you guys can go over to our Facebook page. You can go over to porchvillepod.com. Find us on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter. All the major social media hubs that you can find us. And we want questions from you guys. We want topics from you guys. We want to know what you want to hear us talk about. If we can get everything up and running, fine-tuned and all that shit, we may even do like special guest call-ins. Maybe we have some people call in live and involve them in the show or something like that.
We'll do live chat. We can do it through the chat.
Yeah?
We can do it through chats.
That would be cool,
all kinds of ways.
That would be awesome. So we've spent basically an hour, like we started this off, we're talking about you. So I guess at this point I'm supposed to tell people a little bit about who the fuck I am?
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Or
I think it's
are
a
you
good
just going
time.
to roll this?
I think it's a good time. I mean, I could talk about me forever. But I think it's a good time to let's hear a few things about Nick, man. I think it's a good time to tell some people about a little bit about you, man.
Well, one of the things that we got to do here, because we're learning this shit. There's a lot of things that we're just learning here, and we're learning on the fly as we go. So we're gonna bone up your interview skills.
Thank you.
So ask away, man.
Oh no, I want to know a little bit about you, bro.
What
what's
about?
Okay.
What about? What do you?
What
do
drives
you?
What drives you to have a Porchville podcast? What drives you? What is your drive? What are your ambitions?
It's all about having a good fucking time. It really is. It's just it's having a good time. It's bringing all these people, hopefully all these people, in with us and making them members of the fucking Porch.
Porchvillians.
That's what it's always been. The Porch, when I moved into my house years ago, 13 years ago, 12 years ago, we had our, back porch, and everybody had a porch, whatever. It's not really that big of a fucking deal, but everybody would just sort of, congregate over to our place. It was just
social hub.
It was a fun place to be, and it just very quickly became like this is who we are. This is what we do. My wife Katie and I, we weren't really big on going out and hitting the bar scene and being in a band and everything for a long time. Like, I would get enough of that. I would go out to the bars and play with the bands, and
I get it.
At the end of the day, I just wanted to come home. I'd rather hang out. Good friends, good times.
A little bit of personal time,
exactly.
Real time.
So we hung out, and what ended up happening was it was kind of like it was one of these things where people would just call up and be like, "Hey, man, is the Porch open tonight?" And so it just kind of became a thing, nobody would ever say like, "Oh, we're gonna go hang out at Nick and Katie's." It was, "Oh, we're going to the Porch," and everybody go, "Oh yeah, cool, I'll meet you there."
Yeah.
Everybody just knew where the Porch was and what it was all about. So, and now we moved. We moved, a few months back, but
to this gorgeous home.
We got this awesome place here, and we got a pool, and so that kind of enhanced the porch. So now we have Porch 2.0.
Dude,
Porch,
this is
Porch
the
2.
Porchville.
Yeah,
Porchville.
and now here we are in Porchville. So
welcome, welcome to the.
So that's what drives it, man. Is just having fun, is having a good fucking time. I did a little radio way back in the day, and
your voice is fucking amazing, Nick.
Well,
it really is, man.
But
You definitely have a voice.
It was just always something that I loved doing, and fast forward 20 years, and it's like, oh wow, we have this much easier medium, to just be able to get on here and talk and throw our thoughts and ideas out there, and we don't have to be in a station, so it's like, fuck it, man, let's do it. Let's put our shit out there. Why not? Everybody else is out there doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Let's do this and let's kick ass doing it.
I so remember what I was going to say earlier about the music industry and technology and stuff, and that's the fact that all of these musicians now can do it by themselves. They don't have to have.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They don't have to have these giant labels necessarily to be successful anymore.
Right.
And I feel like we're in that same category. You know what I mean?
But it's a different level too.
Of course.
Guys like me, guys that were in my band. We got into music, because we love playing music, but we were also influenced by, bands like Guns N' Roses or, Zeppelin, The Doors, Skinner, Ozzy and Randy Rhoads, all these fucking great artists that have come our way. We were inspired by them and their music, but we were also inspired by that lifestyle.
What a lifestyle.
It was like what you would, what you'd see them doing. It was just like, Jesus Christ, what a fun fucking time. That looks amazing. I want to do that.
Yeah, man.
And I remember I was 17 years old, and I was sitting in the, I don't know if she was a fucking principal or a guidance counselor or whatever. But she was one of my vice principals, and I won't name any names. 1998 Fort Myers High School. I won't name any names specifically, but this woman, she asked me because my grades weren't the best. I was more, like I said, I was more worried about playing rock and roll than I was
social
really
standings.
anything
I was
else.
the same way.
And she asked me what I was planning on doing after high school, and I looked at her and I said, well, I'm planning on playing rock and roll. And I'll be goddamned if this woman didn't look me dead in the face with a straight face and said, oh, so you plan on cleaning toilets
Oh my
for the rest of your life?
God, Nick.
And I will tell you what, that shit hurt, man.
It should have.
Every single time I cleaned a toilet, it drove me nuts.
Damn, bro. That is a real thing right there.
But
Nick is like not going to clean a toilet ever again in his life.
But no, I mean, I did a lot of jobs there. I was cleaning toilets or, doing this, that, the other thing. But you know what? Like, at the end of the day, I was playing rock and roll. I was having a good fucking time.
Yeah.
I really didn't care. It was
but
fun.
at the same time, though, that really tells you a lot about that fucking teacher, man. If she should have been like, you know what? If you're going to do it, you should fucking go for it. That's what she should have said, man. Teachers should not ever try to hold any of these students back from trying to achieve their dreams.
Well,
man.
it was the 90s. I'm assuming she probably figured I was going to turn into some heroin addict or some shit
God.
like that, Like that's probably her association with music, But
yeah, grunge was not my scene.
Luckily,
man.
I did not go that route, It was a few years later, when I came to Gainesville, and met the guys that I ended up playing in a band with them for like 17 years. We had a little hiatus there where a drummer moved to Texas for a couple years, but he came back, man. We got right back to it. It was just all about having a good time. And I will say that our intro music is that very band. It's called Hollow Days.
God, it kicks so much ass, dude.
It's good times. You'll also hear it on the outro. So
I'm I'm indifferent on if we should have went with Red Level or not, but I really I'm good with both of those.
Red Level is a fantastic song. I love that song.
Can we play that right now? Just to give them a clip of it.
We can play it, but we're not queued up. So
Okay,
so
right.
we'll have
Fair
to
enough. Fair enough.
we'll have to entertain that one another time. But we
Fair
will definitely give that out. Or you can go and you can search it on Google, YouTube,
man.
After the End, Red Level.
Song it slays so much. Well, it's not even really the hardest song, but it's just like it's got everything you want in a good rock and roll song.
Yeah.
Like it's got.
Oh, we had a great time. We went up to Martell Studios in Kingsland, Georgia. Stan Martell recorded it and did a phenomenal job. I mean, from the audio to the video work, he did everything. He did fucking just top notch.
God, I wish we could play it so bad, Nick. I want to just fucking hear that jam, dude.
Yeah, I'll have to get it queued up another time,
but I think I guess the whole point here is I really want the listeners to understand the quality of musicians that these guys are here, and that Nick has surrounded himself with.
I've been fortunate. I've been more than fortunate. The years that I've played, man, the guys that I've worked with have just they've been the best. And I mean, I'm still friends with 99% of them to this day. Because they're just good guys, and that's what you want in a band.
Yeah.
See,
I think it's funny, man. Nick has several friends, man, but a lot of them are all musicians. I think I'm like one of the only ones who's not a musician.
There's a handful.
Maybe Matt's not a musician. And that's about all I could think of.
Yeah. There's a few, but few and far between, I guess you could say.
But the thing is my man here has surrounded himself with just amazing talent when it comes to the music industry.
100% true. 100% true. They are fantastic.
And whenever they live show it up or just do any acoustic stuff, or anytime they jam themselves, or if you ever watched how they were performing live, it was an incredible time.
Yep.
And
one of the best shows we did was right after I had started playing with a band called After the End, and it was right after Chris Cornell died. And talk about a fucking experience in general. I mean, when Cornell died, that was
so sad.
Man,
that guy's one of the best vocalists of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. It broke my fucking heart. It really did. And we have a club here in Gainesville called the High Dive, and they put on a Chris Cornell tribute show and asked us to come and play. It was to raise awareness about suicide and that sort of thing. And we were fortunate enough to get in there and do our thing, and man, what a fucking time that was.
Dude, it wasn't just a great time. It was a fucking experience, because I was in the crowd, man. I was in the crowd with the rest of our peoples, and it was a fucking experience, man. We were out there just having a freaking great time, and the music was incredible. First of all, any Cornell song is top notch, dude. And first of all, Nick slays the vocals, dude. He nailed everything.
Make no mistake.
There might have been.
Make no mistake.
There might have been.
Those guitars were tuned down because obviously my voice is deeper, it's lower, and I'm definitely a bass singer. But so now we manipulated the notes a little bit, it
was good,
and
man.
Changed it up, but at the end of the day, I mean, that was a testament to the guys that I was playing with, because they just fucking killed it. And it's easy to do. If you're a singer, if you're a half-ass singer, and you surround yourself with some great fucking guys who can pull that shit off, it just gets you jazzed up. It gets you riled up.
I could see it, dude.
And it makes you want to be better. It makes you want to make sure you hit those notes, and it just
put some passion behind that fucking note.
It does. It just makes you kick it in the ass. It's fucking great. I love it. That's what I miss most about.
See, I'm getting jazzed right now, though, bro. I'm getting like pumped up, like yeah, like I'm wanting to be in the crowd, like let's go.
That's the one thing I miss most about performing is that connection. Connection with the band, connection with the audience.
I think we have a great medium here.
I think we do. I really do.
And it's only going to get better.
And maybe one of these days I'll plug in the guitar and treat everybody to a little tune or something.
Should. I think that'd be
maybe
a treat
one
for
day.
Everybody. And if not, then maybe not. But if he does, man, I promise you, it's really good. My man is incredible.
It's fun. It's fun.
Has a lot of experience in that business.
And I'll be honest with you, man. Over the years, like it just became about having a good time and just like I'm not interested in doing shit that's just not fun.
Right.
If it's not fun, if we're not getting some enjoyment out of it, like. Cut the fucking ties and move on, do something else. Like that's kind of where I am because towards the end of my musical career, if you want to call it that, hardly I think I made $10 the whole 20 years, but
it's not about the money.
It was never about the money, never about doing for the money. Certainly, playing small venues, here and there. If you're doing it for the money, you're definitely in the wrong fucking business.
Yeah.
But, we did it for the fun. And at some point, life gets in the way. Kids, wife, job.
If you're a responsible human being.
Yeah, exactly. And, for me, it did. And I just, got to a point where it was like, you know what, I'm not really having the fun doing this anymore that I was. So it was just time to put it down.
I think there's a point in everyone's life where you kind of have to make that choice.
Yeah.
So my wife's dad, they're from New Jersey, and he was a great athlete, great football player. He was going to the NFL.
Yeah.
He turned down a whole NFL career to start his family.
Yeah.
Because he had met the love of his life, and he was at that point where he's like, you know what? It's time. I'm done with that, and I'd rather have a family. I mean, I think there's a point in everyone's life where that becomes a thing.
Well, we actually, when we were about 26 or so, that was when I had my son. That was when my buddy Joe got married, and shortly thereafter had a kid. So, we found ourselves at this crossroads because it was also right around that time when we recorded our first record, our first full length record, and it was kind of a moment in our existence where it was like, all right, so do we keep going with this? Do we try to make a push to really do this? Because now we're sort of firing on all cylinders. We were older, we were wiser, we had a little bit of of knowledge behind what we were doing, and ultimately, when that time came around, it was like, you know what? I think I would rather just stay at home with the wife and kids, and that became more fun than going out and playing music.
I feel like we, when you have kids, they're only kids for so long, right?
They are. I heard something really cool one day. I think I read it on Facebook or something like that, where it was talking about your kids and how much time you have with your kids, and it said you have 18 summers. That's it. Think about it. Think about it like that.
And they'll be not a little kid by 5 summers.
Yeah. I mean, my son now, he's 13 years old. So I figure we got another 2 to 3 years max before we're just really uncool. And before he's just, he wants to go do his own thing. And, when you're 16, 17, 18 years old, it's like, you kind of start getting that liberty to do those things on your own. You're not as attached to your parents and stuff like that. I mean, for fuck's sake, we let him stay overnight for the weekend when we went out of town. And, he loved it.
Yeah.
He's just like, yeah, bye. See ya.
He's like, I got some video games to play, Dad.
Exactly. He's like, that's, man, and as a parent, you're nervous as fuck that that first time you leave him alone like that. I mean, he had been left alone, here and there, but never overnight, for 2 days at a
Yeah.
I mean,
is he going to be able to eat anything? What's he going to cook?
I think he ate pizza rolls and
that's
stuff
dinner,
like
man.
that. Oh yeah,
Those dinner champions.
I think he ate pizza rolls like the entire week. I don't think he ate or the weekend. I don't think he ate pizza rolls for a few days after that. But
he's like, Dad, I'm out of pizza rolls. I'm gonna starve.
But no, it just it so much changes that. And when you really think about it in that perspective,
a lot more independence.
18 summers.
Yeah.
That's it. Because after that, man, they're adults.
Yeah.
And when you really look at it and you think about how small that fucking number really is, 18. That is not a lot at all.
It's really not, buddy.
On a grand scale. And so you have to embrace it. You have to really take, as many of those moments as you can, and just really enjoy them.
See, I'm so curious to see how my son acts whenever he's that age, man. I know life's going to be different then, too, so I can't kind of...
Oh, of course.
I have no idea what the actual outcome will be, but
he's
at the same time,
going to drive you crazy.
Well, I'm going to let him. I'm going to let him out. I'm going to try to bore him at home to where he wants to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I feel like whenever I was a kid, I was granted a lot of freedom to go and do what I pleased, which was great because it's not like all the time I had opportunities.
You think it was a good thing or a bad thing, or was it too much, too little?
Well, I look back at it, I should have had a lot more restrictions as a kid.
Yeah.
Because
I think that a lot of people, I would say that about myself too. We were talking about the smoking thing.
Yeah.
I think had there been that, like, you are not smoking, you stupid motherfucker,
right,
kind of conversation.
Yeah.
It may have changed. It may not have. I like smoking cigarettes. I will say that.
I'd lock that kid down in his room for a month.
Yeah.
Like, boy, you ain't coming out until your nicotine habit is gone out of your body.
But at that point, it's not even a habit.
I know.
Right now, it's a habit. Like,
Yes.
I'd fucking kill you for a cigarette if I had to at some point,
right.
probably.
Exactly.
Exactly. But at that age, it's not. At that age, it's you know what? I'll tell you the truth. It's almost worse than an addiction because it's about being cool.
It is about being cool.
And it's about
exactly
fitting in.
Right.
So it's not about, like you don't crave it. I don't get
it. Makes you lightheaded.
If some 13, 14-year-old kid walks up to you and says, "Oh, I'm really craving a sip," punch his ass in the throat.
Yep.
Because he's lying to you. He's full of shit. Because
Man,
it doesn't
really
fucking work that way. It just doesn't. But it is about being fucking cool.
What got you on smoking, man? What was it?
Being cool.
Was it a cigarette first?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah. I went to the Black and Mild. My buddy had a Black and Mild, and we were all out fucking street racing in Tampa and shit. And he's like, he's got this wine Black and Mild. He passed me the damn thing. Yeah, sure. I just hit the damn thing, right?
Wine Black and Mild?
Wine Black and Mild.
That shows how much older I am than you.
Yeah.
Because back in my day, man, it was just Black and Mild.
I know. He was on that wine. He was on that wine Black and Mild.
Fuck that. Wine Black and Mild. Just give me Black and Mild. That's all I need.
I was so against smoking, though. Like, whenever I was a young kid, man, I used to I'd get on my mom.
So was I at one point, believe it or not.
Exactly, though. Exactly. I remember being a little kid and being like, I don't understand why they just don't stop. All you got to do is just not smoke. It's just that easy.
Meanwhile, you're sitting there badgering them, and all they want to do is fucking tell you to shut up and go outside and smoke a cigarette.
Hey, backhand me and go smoke a cigarette. Yeah, boy, get out of here. Bam.
But no, it was. I mean, I remember I was hanging out with my sister, my older sister, and she smoked, and she was older than I was, and she was hanging out with people that were older than I was, and then they were the coolest motherfuckers in the world.
Well, bro, my favorite thing about smoking is it's social.
Yeah, not for me. It's not.
But listen,
there's nothing social about smoking a cigarette. Leaned over a vent in a fucking hotel because you're gonna get a $300 fine.
Yeah.
There ain't shit social about that. You're just you have a nicotine craving and addiction, and You have to satisfy that.
But you know what I mean? So, like, check this out. My family they've always used smoking as their go out on the porch and kind of just have their conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, everyone's out there. Everyone has to be outside kind of freaking talking to begin with. Otherwise, everyone's just sitting around each other.
Right.
You know, so, like, that's the habit of my family there is they all smoke socially. It's not even that it's the habit or the nicotine addiction. It's the freaking habit of the social atmosphere.
Right.
So, I mean, so I was always like so against it, man. I was so against it. And then all of a sudden I tried that Black and Mild and I still wasn't about it. And then another buddy offered me a chew and I put that in and I got the biggest buzz you'd ever imagined in my life. I puked afterwards, you know, like every freaking greenhead does. And then, like, I started smoking, what were they? Cools.
Oh, my God.
With a K.
Who has been putting the Cools out on my floor?
I have
seen that shit, Trading Places?
No.
Eddie Murphy, Dan
no,
Aykroyd?
No.
You've never seen Trading Places?
I don't remember that part specifically.
That's a fucking
I have
classic.
seen that movie.
When Eddie Murphy's all rich and he's got a party going on, and, you know, they've been talking about, like, oh, no, he's going to resort to his old way of doing things. He's not going to become all sophisticated.
Yeah.
And then he actually does become sophisticated, and there's he has a big party, and there's somebody puts a cigarette out on his carpet, and he picks it up, and he yells, "Who's been putting their Cools out on my floor?"
Oh my God!
And so that's what. Anytime somebody mentions Cools, I think of Eddie Murphy.
But so I went from Cools to Newports, not ports, and then
What's the difference?
Port is it's a Newport. I was thinking P-Funks.
What the fuck is a P-Funk?
Parliaments.
Oh. I smoked Parliaments. I never called them P-Funks.
Yeah, they're called P-Funks.
Never heard that.
So
Never.
So yeah, and then after eventually,
But it makes sense,
because I was athletic and stuff, so I kind of used to base all my athleticism on my cardio. Like I could run for years. Like those people run for days. I run for years.
Something wrong with people that can run for that long.
And because, like, dude, if we were running
I couldn't
30
run
miles,
that long if somebody was chasing me.
Yeah.
Eventually, I'd just be like, "You win."
Well, Nick, if we were running 30 miles, you might beat me for 10 miles, but then after that 10 miles, I'm going to smoke you.
I wouldn't beat you for half a block.
Yeah, just don't stop.
I
didn't.
I honestly would not make it like to the end of the road right now.
But that's
I used
to base myself on my cardio. So I started smoking, and then I was like, you know what? I'm getting a little bit in better shape. I started running a little bit more, and I started running. And I realized, damn, I can't really run no more.
Right.
So I switched it up and went to the chew. My dad chewed anyway. So
well, let me ask you this: so Parliaments are called P-Funks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why that is?
I don't know. I don't know why they call them that. I just know that's what they fucking call them.
Oh my goodness.
P-Funk, man. I know a lot of cokeheads use Parliaments though because they have a Coke straw on the end of them.
So the reason is because there is a band, George Clinton and the Parliament Funkadelic, the P-Funk All-Stars.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So that's what it's from. So when you said P-Funk, I didn't put it together, but then you said Parliament, I was like, oh, because of the band. That's why. That's why.
Oh, that's funny as fuck.
George Clinton. That's a motherfucking man there. That dude's awesome.
Not our president, right? Oh, that'd be William Clinton.
That'd be William Jefferson Clinton. I don't have a good Bill Clinton impression.
No, that was actually not bad.
I'm usually all right on the impressions.
Oh, get over here and give me a blowjob, baby.
Oh, come on. Oh, fuck that. I can't even do it.
Dude, Dave Chappelle's Clinton is my favorite whenever he's talking about kissing babies. Get over here, little baby. Oh. Fucking hilarious.
Chappelle is the man.
He is the man.
I fucking love Dave Chappelle.
Dude, I think Dave Chappelle literally has to go down as one of the funniest of all time, man.
Yeah, I'd second that.
Like, when it comes to comedian, I mean, obviously you got to have your man, oh my God. Who were we going on the other night? What was his name?
Mitch Hedberg.
Dude.
The legend.
Nick was smashing
Mitch
this Hedberg.
Fucking Hedberg.
It was awesome.
I love Mitch Hedberg.
It was awesome.
I've been a fan of his, I mean, since he was still alive and doing stand-up.
Dude, just your impersonation of him, though.
I was killing it.
You really were. And Matt was doing literally killing it, and you were fucking rocking that shit.
That was a good time. That was funny.
Well,
I could do a Matt impersonation too. So
that one's not bad. I've heard that one too. Well, guys, I can't do it. No, how do you do the Matt one?
Oh God, it's like a hold on. Oh, I gotta back it from the mic.
You do have to.
It's like
hold on now. How do you do that? How do you do it?
See,
I'm
so
on the
Wisconsin.
Spot.
I'm on the spot.
It's so Wisconsin.
See, and I'm from Michigan originally, so I can pull that off.
Michigan.
I can pull it off. Flint, Michigan, to be exact. Give a shout out to Flint, the bottled water capital of the world right now.
Oh my God!
Other than any place in fucking Florida, because most people don't know we are actually sitting here outside on the porch right now. Yeah. Waiting on a Hurricane Dorian, to show the fuck up.
I fucking love it too, man. I love hurricane parties. They're my favorite. Everyone else, you're fucked.
Yeah.
We live in North Central Florida.
North Central.
We don't have to worry about being on the coast like a lot of you guys.
Luckily.
And if you do live on the coast, I mean, you know what you're in for.
Get the fuck out.
If you live in Florida, you know what you're in for.
Yes.
So,
but goddamn, if you're in the track of that storm, man, get the fuck out of there. Like, we're far enough inland that I'm pretty confident that
only if you're low-lying. If you're low-lying, then you're...
I don't really think I'd ever fucking leave, just because, we're far enough inland and all that sort of stuff. But, man, last year, I don't even remember the name of the storm, but, like, Panama City, Panama Beach, or Mexico Beach.
Wrecked.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it was...
Absolute devastation.
Yeah, it really was devastating.
And, we don't want to fucking see any of that, but...
But see, like, Florida is really bad. Okay, so here's where it's bad to be in Florida during a hurricane. If you live on the coast, it's bad to be in a hurricane. If you live anywhere that's low-lying, it is really bad to be in a hurricane. And if you're too close to a river, it's kind of bad to be in a hurricane.
Yeah. How about those bastards down in the Keys, man? Jesus Christ.
Well, they can get wrecked because just in Florida, though, where we are, normally it starts to slow down a little bit once it touches land.
Yeah.
So we're typically
of course, then we get those ones that just come in from the Atlantic and come straight across or some shit. Like they were originally talking about this one. It was initially Gainesville was.
We're gonna hit the eye.
We were right there in the center of it. It was like fuck. Of course. There was like a billion different fucking spaghetti models or whatever they call them that go all over the place.
Predicted paths.
Jesus, it's like really. Maybe we just wait it out, see where the fuck it's going. It's ridiculous, but yeah, we're sitting here right now. It's a beautiful night out. It actually cooled down a little bit,
dude. I will say this, man. It's always calmest before the storm. And the weather before we get a hurricane is literally the best time.
Oh yeah,
like it's beautiful most of the time, and then the hurricane comes.
Have you been through any of the major ones? Like any of the?
Oh, I've been through all. I lived in Florida my whole life.
Well, but have you ever like?
You remember when we got those 3 really bad back to back to back? I lived in Tampa then.
I was here for that.
And all 3, like I want to say it was all 3 of them, but all I know is the eye of the storm was right over me.
Yeah.
And I remember it being so eerily calm.
Yeah.
And it was just vicious. Yep. And then all of a sudden eerily calm. And then vicious. Like, it was crazy, dude.
Yeah, that was an interesting time. I was actually here in Gainesville, and
see, I was in Tampa then, man.
I had like 3 roommates at the time. We were renting a house here in town, and they all left. Everybody fucking left for each of the hurricanes.
Oh my God.
They left, and I was working at the time. I had shit to do, man. I didn't have fucking time to skip town. I had to work, so I ended up staying here and rode all 3 of them out. And you know what? Never lost power.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It was great. fucking great. There was a little bit of a fire. A branch fell on some power lines. I thought I was gonna have to go like
on your house.
Near the neighbor's house.
Oh shit!
They were like 97.
Oh my God, Nick!
I thought I was gonna have to run over and save some lives.
You
but
might.
Luckily, that didn't happen. So, you want to hear something fucking crazy though?
Sure.
So, speaking of saving lives, so a couple weeks ago, I'm leaving Publix. I pull out, and there's a Cadillac in front of me. And this fucking guy was all over I'm talking driving in oncoming traffic.
The fuck?
Driving off the road in the other direction. Went around a curve at one point and didn't turn. Like I thought he ended up turning eventually, but I thought he was going straight off into the fucking swampland. Crazy shit. I'm freaking out. I'm calling 911. I'm trying to get this guy off the road. I'm thinking about should I run him off the road myself?
Should I pull him over?
And ended up following him all the way to his fucking house. The cops showed up. When the cops showed up, he was stopped in his driveway, and cop went up and knocked on his window. And when he did, I guess he scared the guy or something, and the car started moving.
Shit!
So I hear this fucking cop start yelling, and I see the car moving. He gets the guy to stop the car. I'm inches from running it right into the fucking side of his house.
Oh my God.
Ended up getting the guy out. The guy was having like a medical emergency, man. So he comes over afterwards. They load him up on a stretcher and ambulance, the whole nine, and take his ass to the hospital. I mean, he was an old dude. I mean,
it's kind of genius if you think about it.
If he was a day under 85, I'd be shocked.
Wow,
okay. I mean, he was an old man, and beautiful fucking house, beautiful house. And they came over and told us, because there was another guy that had followed him as well. He was following me, and he basically came over and told us like, "Hey, you guys probably saved that dude's life."
That's intense.
And I was like, "Holy fuck, man!" Like, I swear to God, I thought this guy was gonna kill somebody. I don't get rattled by a lot of shit, but I'll tell you what, man, that. When I'm watching this guy swerve, and I'm not talking like, just a little bit of his front bumpers no, this motherfucker was fully in the left lane.
Jesus.
This is not England. This is not somewhere overseas where we drive on the left side of the fucking road. This guy was 100% in the left lane.
You think he was stroking?
I mean, he seemed like he was moving around all right. I don't think it was a stroke, but he was some kind of a medical emergency this guy was having. Could have been. I mean, I've read articles about people having strokes and stuff like that, diabetic issues and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Where it just causes a momentary lapse of fucking reason.
Yeah.
And this guy had a big-ass momentary lapse of reason at the wrong goddamn time.
That's intense. Dude.
Every time he'd swerve over into the left lane, I'd lay on the horn and, I'd start swerving, trying to alert other drivers that were coming, whatever I could do, but pretty fucking intense.
I mean, dude, that's how my grandfather died. I mean, someone came across a median and killed him.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Dude, he was a pretty popular figure as well. He was in Smokey and the Bandit 3. He's one of the truck drivers.
Get the fuck out of town.
He had the largest funeral procession in High Springs history. He was about to open up his own trucking company, and I probably would have been insanely rich if that was the case.
Shit.
But he was just driving on the highway, and someone came across a median, hit him, and killed him.
Yeah.
Done.
It's always sad when you hear about somebody passing away in like an accident like that. But for me, I always feel like there's like a little extra tragedy when it's like some old guy, like
yeah.
It's like, fuck, man, you made it all this way to get taken out, by some asshole who isn't in control of what the fuck they're doing.
Well,
that
I mean,
just breaks my heart.
But that's one thing is being an elderly driver, like I mean, my grandfather was young.
Yeah.
Like he was 30s, 40s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That young?
Yeah, my dad was still like 12.
Oh, okay.
13.
Okay. I got you. You say grandfather, I'm thinking like
Yeah.
this happened a few years ago or something like that. So this was before you were.
Yeah, but I never
all that
met
good
him.
stuff.
I just have seen the pictures and stories and everything else from him.
Wow.
But yeah, man, it's when you're an elderly driver, like sometimes there's a certain age where you just shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
Well,
is it? I don't know that it's a certain age as much as it is a. You get to a point. Just. I think it's probably more of a physical thing. I mean, when you are if you're driving drunk, you're impaired.
yeah.
Because your reaction time is slowed and stuff like that.
Right.
When you get to a certain age. If your reaction time is impaired, just due to age and stuff like that, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, I guess.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, I know
exactly.
me personally, as soon as I reach that point where I gotta have somebody else drive me around, like I'm good with that. Fuck, drive.
Yeah,
you
I'd
drive,
like to be.
drive
Fine with
me
me. I'll
around.
ride in the back.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this. This has been fun.
Oh yeah,
It's been a good time. We've had some good conversation going on here.
we're just kicking it tonight, man.
And I think that this is a little bit of a window into what we're. I mean, we're just here to have some good conversation. I think that's the point. That's the goal. And I think we've achieved that this evening. Just a good general conversation between friends.
I mean, tonight we were more like just talking about ourselves and a little bit about us more than anything. I'm sure in the future we'll have a little bit more stuff. Maybe
Moving
people
forward,
can
we'll
bring home with you a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll definitely give them a little bit more substance, a little, and of course a lot of that's going to come from, the interviews. I mean, we're always going to have some different people coming in. And the idea is not just to bring somebody in and to interview them and the entire show is just about them and what's going on. It's to interview them, talk about who they are, what they're doing, but then to bring them in just in the general discussion topics, and
let them talk.
let them
hang out at
we
the
want to hear
porch,
their
man.
views,
Right.
Let them be a part of the porch. Porchville. Welcome to Porchville.
Yeah, baby.
So with that, I'm going to say I think it's about that time. This has been a lot of fun, and we're going to go ahead and let you know all the fine points. PorchvillePod.com. You can find us there. You can check out our podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and I'm saying these in hopes that you can find us there, because right now we're not actually there. As of right now, while this is recorded, we are not there, but we're a couple of days from being there. So by the time this is being heard, we're hoping that everybody's on board and be able to find us there. Other than that, you can go over and find us on Facebook, Porchville Pod, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Welcome to Porchville.
All my Porchvillians, I love you.
Porchville Podcast. Porchvillians, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Come back and check out episode 2. Mr. Troy Fisher will be sitting in with us. It should be a good time. Much love to you all. Have a good night.
We're out.